Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. Honored to be connecting in with you, and I hope that you're having an amazing day today. Really excited for today's show and introducing our guest. She has been on our show many times, so one of our frequent flyers that joins us, and every time I am touched and moved and expanded and empowered, and I know that that will be your experience as well. So I'm excited to have you leaning in and joining us, and today we're going to be focusing in on how can we equip and empower our children, our kids, our future generations. How can we come together and do that in a powerful way? One of the things we focus on in August is really falling into balance. So how can we create a balanced way of approaching and supporting our children, our friends' children's generations to come? How can we build that into what we're doing? So every day, every week, every month, we are empowering and equipping others, ourselves, and building legacies that last. So how can we do that? How can we come together in a powerful and positive way? And I know that you're going to love what Dr. Kasthuri, our guest, has to share about this as she expands our vision and empowers us around equipping our kids, equipping our children. With that, I want to welcome each and every one of you. I want to invite you to choose to be fully present. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, all the way to your toes, and then out through your mouth, like through a straw. Beautiful. And as you're slowing down, becoming present, I want you to take a moment and feel in and see what is it you need today to encourage you, to empower you, to support you. What do you need real time to encourage and support you on your journey? What is it you need today? Real time. In fact, if you close your eyes and take another one of those deep breaths, it helps you focus in, tune out everything that can pull at us, become fully present and listen. Hear what is speaking to your heart and to your spirit that you need today, real time, to support you on your journey. And just see what comes forward. See what it is that you need. Beautiful. Let's take another breath. Come back into the room, fully present, eyes open, and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive, because you have choice. Sometimes we forget that. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? See if that shifts anything. And see how that ties into future generations, to legacy. How does you getting support in that area help you help others reach out and impact generations to come, current generations and beyond? Beautiful. I'm going to go around our virtual room and I'm going to have Dr. Kasthuri chime in and see what was laid on her heart when we took a moment to pause and listen. So with that, Dr. Kasthuri, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's such an honor and a joy to be here with your audience. What lays on my heart is the immense responsibility and the immense joy that comes with it in supporting and lifting up the next generation, our youth, our children, because they are our future, and how we shape their lives is our collective destiny.
Beautiful. I like that responsibility and joy that have woven together as you sink in and really feel and lean into the importance of the generations we're impacting now and beyond, because it truly matters.
Absolutely. And you and I, we all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us.
Yes.
And we are reaping the benefits of the trees they planted. What are we planting? What strong shoulders are we providing for the next generation to stand on? And truly, that is what's coming up for me. And that is what I am putting out there into the universe. How can we work together to make it happen? And I am willing to receive any support and any partnership to make that possible.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I so appreciate it. As you were mentioning about how we are harvesting from seeds that others have planted. We recently, and I know Dr. and sometimes listeners, I call her Dr. Cass, sometimes Dr. Kasthuri. She is both. So there's not a third person on the show. It is her and I today, as you hear me flip back and forth there. But Dr. Cass knows that recently we moved into a new home, and we have a little grove of trees that were in full blossom, beyond blossoming fruit, just abundance of fruit. And these were trees we did not plant, but we, in a sense, were inherited, and they were given to us as we got to by future generations or past generations that planted those seeds, intended, and then we moved in to this beautiful home, and it had these abundant trees, and we've enjoyed learning and harvesting and picking cherries and blossoms and apricots and just fruit, all kinds of different fruit, apples, and I'm learning a lot about how to care for them.
Wow.
But I feel that when they are so full and they were so abundant, we were inviting people over, we were sharing, we felt such honor and responsibility with the fruit, and a responsibility of having it go and serve and be enjoyed and nourish others. And then the seeds are also being shared and planted. So it just, what you shared just really tied beautifully in for me of that joy and that wonder of the beautiful growth and what's being created, but also that responsibility to share, not just to keep to ourselves, but how are we paying it forward? How are we sharing that abundance so more and more is created? So that's just laid on my heart from what you shared, and I'm looking at the trees right now through the window. So I feel like they are smiling and enjoying the conversation. And as we go to our first commercial break, listeners, I want you to think about what is planted in your heart, what chord is being struck or pinging a little bit and giving you a message or expanding something on something that you have been given, you have been reaping the rewards from because others planted before you, and you've gotten to stand on their shoulders, as Dr. Cass was sharing. And what are you, in a sense, planting as well to bring forward? I think these are important questions because it matters how we respond and the responsibility and opportunities we're given. How are we continuing to bring those forward for ourselves and others? So enjoy these 2 minutes, stay present, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Enjoying our shows and can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram at Voice America Talk Radio and see what we're cooking up for you.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and really seeing what was speaking on to your heart and to your spirit. I know Dr. Cass and I behind the scenes decided we were getting hungry as we were talking about all the fruit that is growing. And the other thing I've been experiencing lately and learning, I've been planting all kinds of different seeds, and it's such a wonder to me as I see each one come forward differently, uniquely. The cucumbers know they're cucumbers, and they show up differently than squash, and that shows up differently than strawberries. Like, they all have a different, unique, and beautiful way that they show up in the world and get to come forward, and each of them has a little bit different growing cycle and different support that it needs. And I think that's so much like ourselves. Like, we have so much we can learn and grow from and support in the seeds that we're planting. And I know I'm talking about physical seeds that I'm planting and growing, but we have an opportunity that we can plant and grow seeds and thoughts and ideas and ennoble and empower others and give that support. And that's what we're coming together to explore today. So let me give a more formal introduction of Dr. Kasthuri Henry, so you know a little bit more about her. And then we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about ennobling others. We're going to talk about equipping and empowering kids and children and how we can come together and do that. So it is my honor to officially introduce Dr. Kasthuri Henry. She is a #1 international best-selling author, international podcast host, Six Sigma Black Belt. She is a sought-after member of the Forbes Council, board chair of the nonprofit Equip Our Kids, CEO of Cass Henry Incorporated, and the founder of Ennobled for Success Institute. She has an amazing range of business experience, including leading the global acquisition of the Duracell brand by Warren Buffett, to risk management as the CFO at Aon Risk Management, which is a global organization. She is a graduate school professor and has been quoted in major media. She's absolutely passionate about building to last and ennobling for success. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and heart-centered Dr. Kasthuri Henry. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. You always make my heart smile, and it is an absolute joy to spend time with you and your audience.
Well, thank you. I feel the same. My heart is happy and smiling too, excited to spend time with you. And I know our listeners are going to learn and be encouraged and empowered. And I'd like to start with this concept of ennobling and building to last. Those are things that I know are so core to you. You do so many different things with them and so many different facets with your amazing experience and skill set. I'd love for you to share so we know what you mean when you use the terms building to last and ennobling for success. What does that mean? Why is it important?
Such an important question, and thank you for asking me. We live in a transactional world where everything, including relationships, are transient. Nothing is built to last, not marriages, not families, not relationships, not work. And that has created such an emptiness, such mental health issues, such gaping, chasms of valleys in the human soul and the human spirit. And we need to start bridging it. We need to get back to the purpose of our very existence. We were never meant to be here to use and disappear. We are part of a cycle. And for our ecosystem to be sustainable, we have to build to last. The very reason we are able to exist is because those who came before us built it to last. When we are the beneficiaries of that, we should never just take and throw and take and throw. So building to last for me is a very essence of our dharma, our sacred duty, because we are not just human, we are actually divine in a body having this human experience. And our body comes and goes, but our soul, the divine within us, continues. How are we honoring our soul? How are we honoring our divine within? To me, building to last is just that. And ennobling for success is being able to see that the divine within me is in every living creature, thing, object around me. People don't realize even plants live. There is life around us, and inside every living form, there is the divine. There is the spirit, the energy. How are we bringing out the best in each of them? And in the process, how are we living the best version of us? That means, am I embodying compassion? Am I embodying love, kindness? Am I embodying grace under fire? Am I holding perspective and giving space for others to exist? If the whole garden only had strawberries and no flowers, there won't be strawberries. The birds and the bees have nothing to pollinate, and it'll be a boring garden. Why expect everything to be like us? Why not embrace the wholeness of different plants and different life forms, making it a beautiful garden? I have a beautiful garden that has butterflies and hummingbirds and flowers that bloom at different seasons, plants that have beautiful leaves but no flowers, vegetables, fruits. It takes all kinds. Why don't we allow and make space for humanity to be exactly like that? That thriving, flowering, blooming, life-sustaining garden. And what if we took the time and invested in ourselves and others to ennoble, so that we do have this garden? It doesn't have to be a Garden of Eden in a book somewhere. We get to build it.
Beautiful. As you're describing, I am picturing your beautiful, thriving garden, and how beautiful that would be for us to bring that forward, not look for it something outside of us, but together coming forward and creating that amazing richness and diversity and different seasons and different textures, all of that we're planting and sharing and growing and thriving together. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
My honor.
So one of the ways that I know you are helping plant seeds, because you do this in so many different ways with different organizations and governments and in media, all different. You have lots of seeds that you are planting and nourishing and growing. And one of them that you're very involved in, a collection of seeds, is the organization, the nonprofit Equip Our Kids. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about this organization and why you chose to be involved in it, and what you're really wanting people to know about this organization as you're reaching out and helping it expand its reach.
Absolutely. Equip Our Kids. Imagine that word, Equip Our Kids, and the E and the Q is capital E, capital Q. 70 to 80% of human success and human viability is because of our emotional quotient, our ability to have human relationships and be human. Only 20% of human success, 20 to 30% is attributable to our IQ and our technical skills. And yet we do not focus on our human aspect, our emotional quotient. That's why the richest people, the most educated people, the most successful people on paper are empty inside. We live in a polarizing world. Everything is a point of argument, and it's my way or the highway. The only way to change this is to groom the next generation of children to become well-heeled adults. I spent so much time in organizational and economic transformation, and part of that is working with leaders and transforming them. But for success nationally and organizationally to happen, we first have to help heal the broken adults. And coaching through emotional intelligence development is part of what I do. But what I realized is we can only fix so many broken people as broken people continue to break other people. So what if, while I help mend and ennoble the adults in the world, just what if I partner with the right organization to then cultivate and groom a generation of young people who don't show up in adulthood the way we are seeing adults show up today. So that was my impetus. And Jay Levin, the founder of Equip Our Kids, and I connected at a very, I would say, spiritual and psychological level. It was like whatever I thought and felt, it resonated for him. And we are a generation apart. But our life experiences and the way we look at the world and the way we think we can change the future was in alignment. So I have been involved on the board of Equip Our Kids, and I have just recently been appointed the board chair. And Equip Our Kids has been around for 5 years. It has played a major role nationally across the United States in raising crucial parent awareness and support from 5% to 75% for a game-changing emotional intelligence training and relevant life skills known as social emotional learning. We need to teach children how to cope with emotions. There's so much going on around us. When children don't know to deal with emotions, they grow up as adults who can't relate to emotions, right? And so this has helped the growth we have been able to, as a not-for-profit, bring forward a 70% growth. It has helped allow a few million kids to experience their first taste of this life-enhancing, school-transforming learning, which has also helped with the national youth mental health crisis, especially during COVID and coming out of COVID. So we truly believe that if we give that ability for every child, K through 12, to become aware of emotions, understand them, learn to manage them, and navigate it in a socially, culturally responsible way, we can eliminate hate. We don't have to be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion and reducing hate crime and gun violence if we are able to do this. It'll take care of itself. Why focus on the symptoms when we can address the root cause?
Powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. And I'd love for you to share the website where people can learn more about the powerful work that Equip Our Kids is doing, this really important work of supporting our children and our youth, really equipping, empowering, and ennobling. Do you mind sharing the link?
Absolutely. So go online and Google www.equipourkids, EQUIPOURKIDS, no space, equipourkids.org, It's a not-for-profit organization. You can actually get engaged as parents, you can get engaged as teachers and schools, and you can get your children engaged. We have youth advisory boards where young people get involved in shaping what they want to see happen in their school system. We have speaker bureaus that helps parents with helping their children deal with the emotional trauma and turmoil around us. We have resources for teachers. We are taking a full-fledged community approach, and we're also in the process of bringing businesses in to partner, because parents, teachers, youth, community, workplace, it's all part of the ecosystem. We have to make this work so that we give our children a fighting chance.
Beautiful. As we get ready to go to our next commercial break, I'd love for you to share, as people are writing that site down, are looking and leaning into exploring and learning more and seeing, what kind of seed can they plant? What would you like them to consider and weigh and think about during our next break?
Such an important point to ponder. There are multiple ways every person can get involved. If they are parents, they can start thinking about, how can I get engaged so that I learn and I equip myself with the tools so that I can help equip my children. You can also think about, how do I learn about this and work with my children's school to bring social emotional learning into the classroom, so that raising a child and equipping them to live a full life is not the sole responsibility of me as a parent. I have a support system of this educational ecosystem. How do I get them involved? How do I get my employer involved? If I want to join the cause and I want to donate something, what if my employer comes on board as part of the employee giving matching practice, and together we give for this cause so that my children and their peers can all benefit from this? Because ultimately, the lives we are going to be sustaining in this process is truly ours, our children's, and our collective future.
Beautiful. Thank you. I so appreciate it. I love the different ways that we can explore this, and we can think about how we can be empowered and equipped ourselves, as well as the different ways we can get involved from a family level, from a personal level, to an organizational level. So as we go to our next commercial break, I encourage you, listeners, to really think about what is pulling at your heart and your spirit. What is important to you about the future generations, the seeds that are being planted? What are we giving back and bringing forward in a consistent, strategic way? So take a moment, really see what's pulling at your heart and spirit. I encourage you to take a moment and look at that website so you can learn a little bit more. Dr. Cass, can you give us the website one more time?
Absolutely. EquipOurKids.org, EquipOurKids.org.
Perfect. And every seed we plant, every way that we contribute time, energy, and resources matters. And it is an investment that can serve and ripple out in powerful ways. So just feel in and really think about, how are we choosing to mindfully, purposely invest in ourselves and others to continue having that impact in those areas that matter most to us. We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on Twitter. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Enjoying our shows and can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram at Voice America Talk Radio and see what we're cooking up for you.
Join Rebecca Hall Gruyter every week for her new podcast, The Author's Journey. Spend some time getting to know best-selling expert authors, discuss and listen to their journey, and find out what works for them and what hasn't. If you're an aspiring author, you'll want to hear their amazing tips that help you in your own author's journey. Each program helps you discover your own gifts and bring them and your message forward. The Author's Journey. Listen for new episodes on the Voice America Variety Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and just had some time to really think about how are you building that legacy and really looking at giving back and sharing what you have learned, what you have discovered. There's so many different ways that we can pour into one another. We can equip and empower. We can share what we have learned, what we have discovered. And we can also be really great stewards with what we have been given, what we have earned, what has been entrusted to us. And how are we going to bring that forward? And Dr. Cass and I were talking a little bit behind the scenes, and I've been reflecting on different things that come to my mind and heart and spirit. And one of them is one of my grandmothers. And she was someone that we became so close that we were friends, and I could feel her when it was time to connect, or she could feel me when there was something significant going on in our lives. And we would have these amazing conversations. And she loved life. She loved animals. She loved seeing things grow and experiencing the wonder of the world. And she enjoyed that and was always sharing what the latest book on tape had told her and how the universe was expanding and all different kinds of things that she would always share. And she would share and celebrate the highs in life and the lows in life with me. And in those really wonderful moments when it was amazing what had just happened and I called to celebrate with her, she would always hold space and I could feel her smiling. She was invested in our relationship too. And she would say, Rebecca, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. But take a moment to pause, breathe, integrate on a cellular level. Let your body catch up so you can mindfully, purposely move forward in ways that matter to you. And then in those lows in life that were just really, really difficult, and I would call her, she would give me that encouragement and support and love and hold space. And then she would always remind me, Rebecca, remember to stop and pause. Be extra kind to yourself, just like you would to your own best friend. give your body time to catch up. And she would remind me every single call, Rebecca, you know, my health is very fragile, and it was, and I can go at any time, which was true. And she said, but we have now, and I want you to know I've loved and been loved richly and deeply. I am at peace, but I want you to make me a promise. And she did this every call. Yes, wow. Grandma, little bit of guilt, but yes, Grandma, I loved her and trusted her. What do you want me to promise? She said, I want you to promise that you'll take care of my granddaughter, which was me. Mm-hmm. And I made that promise every single call. And when life gets busy and I get caught up, I always hear her voice coming to me, reminding me to stop, pause, and slow down and be mindful and purposeful in what I bring forward. And those are seeds that she's planted so deeply in me that have become the roots that have grown this show and the way we open it and the way we spend time together mindfully and purposely. And this comes to my heart, Dr. Cass, as we're sharing today about the seeds that we're planting, that how are we being and living in each other's life and sharing our wisdom, our resources for generations to come. And so with that, I know you were also sharing some reflections with me during break about even if we don't have our own children, what your thoughts were. So I'd love for you to share.
Absolutely. I don't have children of my own, but as a professor, as a community member, as an aunt, and in so many other roles I play in society, I look around and I take such pride in acknowledging that these are all my kids. Mm-hmm. These are all my children. I get to impact their lives directly and indirectly. And the way I impact them is going to determine how they grow up to be various stakeholder adults in the community. They are going to be my future employees. They are going to be my future caregivers. They are going to be my future elected officials determining public policy. They are going to be future scientists. They are going to be future everything. The children around us is our future. How are we impacting them, and how are we helping cultivate them as a whole person? Not a transactional give and take and dispose lifestyle person, but as a whole person who is aware of their heart, mind, body, and soul. And when we invest that holistically, imagine the joy we are going to have in the process, but the peace we're going to have at the other end. I always tell the kids, you know, when I'm a little old lady, I am going to hold you to all these things we are practicing right now. And they always laugh, right? They always say, we love your food. I said, I know, but you're also going to learn to cook so that when I can no longer cook, you're going to make these treats for me. Mm-hmm. Right? And I always remind them, you don't want me to be a little old lady coming and giving you grief, because I am going to be a pain. So we have to figure this out right so that I get to chill, sit on the beach, have a Mai Tai, and you kids are going to be the adults who run the world. And I don't have to worry about a thing, because I will be in a place of peace that the world is in good hands. To me, that's what Equip Our Kids does.
Beautiful. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And just this reminder that all of the children and adults and the young adults and generations to come are all our family. And we have an opportunity to encourage, to walk beside, to empower, to equip. Mm-hmm. So I encourage all of us to lean in and do that. And sometimes it's in the relationships we're building, the time we're taking, even if it's a phone call at a time, that we're pouring into others and holding space and walking beside them, partnering with organizations that have created such an amazing track record to partner, empower, and reach so many. We have opportunities and choices we get to make every single day to choose to lean in. And I want to encourage you that every day matters. And just like I mentioned with my grandmother, that her health was very fragile and she could go at any time. And every call she ended that way, letting me know, reassuring that she loved me, reassuring that I had value, reassuring me to care. And she was entrusting me to take care of myself. And I promised to. It was responsibility. And I want to pass it on to each of you. And one day, it was our last call. And as much as I miss her deeply, she's with me every single day. And every time we're breathing and pausing, I can feel her joining us in heart and spirit as we come together. And I hope that you can feel her love echoing through the lines, whispering in your ears and encouraging you to choose mindfully and purposely to take great care of you, but also of this planet, of those that are on it. How are we choosing to take care of ourselves and generations to come? It matters. And I love what Equip Our Kids does. I love your heart and spirit, Dr. Kasthuri, and all that you do to ennoble and empower and equip. And I just want to hand the floor back to you and have you share a little bit of the vision that Equip Our Kids has, and they are doing and looking to do and bring forward as people are feeling in and seeing how they want to, as a result of today, of our time together today, how they're wanting to recommit and get involved to supporting generations to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Equip Our Kids is working across the United States with 30 grassroots organizations to make sure that we are making resources and tools available to cultivate social emotional learning and life skills for young people. The SEL life skills learning actually historically helps heal children's development, and their development curriculum is going to be enhanced with practical ways to deal with everything that's going on around us. We're living at a time where children are worried about going to school because of school shootings. Children are worried about going to school because they might get COVID again. Children have so many things to worry about instead of focusing on being children. And when life throws so many curveballs at them, we as adults have a responsibility, a sacred duty to give them perspective and arm them with the tools to keep perspective and then go live their life to its fullest and embrace it with joy. So to make this possible, in addition to working with the states across the United States and grassroots, we have a speaker bureau, and we are getting ready to, we're building a live streaming channel, live streaming service to give parents parenting tips and guidance so that we bring the parent-child relationship in a more cohesive way. Because let's face it, parents are too busy trying to juggle multiple things. They have to keep work in perspective. They have to keep the household running. They have to take care of every child as if that's the only child they have to worry about and invest in. And parents have to make time for themselves too. So it's not easy being a parent. Similarly, it's not easy being a teacher. What services and supports do we need for our teachers? What do we need for our parents? How can we bring the community together? How can employers who now identified the two major skills they want in their emerging workforce is resilience and empathy. Resilience and empathy is not a course you take in school. It's not a curriculum you teach in the classroom. They are life skills honed through how we live our life and how we groom our children to tenaciously live their purpose, right? And so how are we allowing the employer world, the community, the schools, the parents, everybody to come together and to do this as a not-for-profit? We're always looking for volunteers and for donations. Beautiful. If you can give of your time, that's beautiful. If you can donate something so that we can go and build all of these elements and then pass it on to the school systems, that is wonderful. If you can pass on the message and get more people signed up for building a better world so that your children, our future, is in alignment, then that is even better. And we don't have to do one thing or the other. Let's each person pick what works for them, what speaks to them, what resonates for them, and then stand in that resonance and pay it forward, because the life we each have today was an investment of those who came before us. It's time for us to invest in the generations that are coming after us.
Thank you, Dr. Kasthuri. I love what you have shared. My heart is moved and touched, and so many different ways we can lean in, we can get involved, we can bring our skills, our talents, our perspective, our energy, our resources to come together and make a difference, heart by heart, life by life, organization by organization. Thank you for sharing and taking time for us today. I so appreciate it. I'm excited to see the ripple that continues to go out into the world as we come together. It's amazing what can be done heart by heart, life by life, and bring your ideas, bring your creativity forward. Trust how you're being led. And take that step, one step at a time. Can you give us the website one more time?
Absolutely. It has been a tremendous joy and pleasure to bring you into the world of Equip Our Kids so that we can work together to equip our future. It is equipourkids.org, EQUIPOURKIDS.org. And I cannot wait to build our shared future and our shared joy.
Thank you. I appreciate you spending the time with us today. Listeners, I hope you have been encouraged and empowered and really feel that quickening in your spirit, a way that you can come together and really make a difference. Touch those around you today and for generations to come, that together we can make a difference. Be mindful of what you are choosing to plant in your garden of life. What are you investing and choosing to pay forward? Don't keep your gifts and your talents and your brilliance a secret. We need you. Together, we need your wisdom, we need your gifts, we need your talents, and to richly share those out to those around you and those generations to come. Be mindful and purposeful about what you're choosing to plant. It matters. And as you get ready to go back out into the world, I hope you choose to bloom where you're planted and shine. Share that amazing gift of you out into the world for generations to come. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.